What's going on, everyone? So yesterday, the Los Angeles Lakers got their center. They went and signed Alex Len. We'll see what happens with the Mark Williams situation because that is still pending. They submitted and finally made the appeal to the NBA. So we'll see how long they take. They very well could just be like, stop, go sit down, relax, and that could be over very quickly. But as of right now, we don't have that word. We don't have that noise. So we'll see what happens. Lakers could end up having to go through with the trade. Right now you have a lot to figure out, right? Because now you got maybe too many big men at that point, and you got some other needs. But obviously, after signing Alex Len, great pickup, arguably best center option available. I do think he's a guy that could really have an impact. I do think he's a guy that could really kind of change the fold here for the Lakers. I think he's a guy that's going to be very interesting to kind of keep an eye on. We'll see when he makes his debut. No word yet on that, at least at the time of recording this video. But beyond bringing in Alex Len, right? The question is, okay, well, can we bring in anyone else, right? Jordan Goodwin, in particular, has been balling out for the Lakers, right? He's looked great. Everything that we wanted to see from Jordan Goodwin, he has been. He's been active. He's been just a menace defensively, which he gave Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell fits when he was on Phoenix, right? Fits. They were struggling. Right? He's aggressive, he's big, he's physical, right? He attacks, he's a great point of attack guy. He rebounds with the best of them. I mean, the guy is an incredible rebounder, something that I really hit on, right? You think of guys like a Josh Hart, right? Like these guards that are just really good rebounders, right? Just have a real nose for the ball, a real knack for the ball, just kind of good read, but also is aggressive at getting to the basketball, right? There was a couple sequences in the Jazz game in particular where Jazz guys would have he'd just come over and snatch it, or he beat the guy to the ball, right? That's really kind of what this team needs. That hard-nosed, dirty work, willing to sacrifice his body. The dude's playing in a mask, just getting hit in the face, still getting after it. And he even said himself, I know why I'm here. I know my role, right? And he's playing it perfectly. But can the Lakers still sign him? Lakers had $1.6 million when they went into this Alex Len signing. So what do they have now? How is it working out? Well, luckily we have the answer thanks to Bobby Marks. So Bobby Marks broke it down for us. So before signing Alex Len, the Lakers were $1.6 million below the second apron. Tuesday, Len's cap hit if signed on, which is the dates, right? Depending on the dates that they actually sign, there's a difference. Because again, remember the contracts are prorated. So depending on how long you can kind of push out him signing, right? If you're not going to play him, right? That's just my thoughts. If you're not going to play him until after the All-Star break, I would just keep him around and just not sign him till after the All-Star break. Just thought, longer you can wait, right? The fewer games. But I also don't know if it would count for the All-Star break, if I'm being honest. So maybe not, maybe it doesn't matter. But just kind of a thought. The longer you can wait is my point, the cheaper he becomes. So for example, Bobby Marks breaks it down. Tuesday, he would make $743,829. But if they sign him on Wednesday, he would make $731,831. So essentially, what is that, 12 million or 12,000 less? So if it's 12,000 less a day, the longer you wait, the more money you have to maybe sign multiple guys, because something to keep in mind. But the Lakers do have the flexibility to add another player and stay under the apron. They would need to clear a roster. So they have $1.6 million. If they wait, let's say that they sign Alex Len for $731,000, right? Then they would have, let's call it $8 million just to be safe. Right? Because the Lakers aren't going to risk going over that. So you'd have, or not 8 million, 800,000. There we go. Right? You'd have 800,000 to work with. I still don't know if they're going to rush to sign Jordan Goodwin. A couple of things. One, you want to still see, right? It's been 2 games. He's looked great in 2 games. Gave you 10 points, 17 points. Again, done everything, done the dirty work, grind, hustled. But you also want to kind of see how do things play out. Is there a very prominent need? You also probably want to wait to see what happens with the Mark Williams situation, right? Do the Lakers end up bringing back Mark Williams? Does that not go through? Because look at the Lakers end up working out the trade. Well, now they have even more money, right? Like, because they would have had $3.8 million, right? Which is like $2.2 million difference if that trade goes through. So now you could bring, and you'd open up a roster spot in the camp because Cam Reddish was going out too. So you could just plug in Jordan Goodwin into that, and then you'd still have, 800 plus thousand or whatever. You still bring in another, maybe even two guys if you wait till the end of the season, right? So you get rid of Shake Milton if he's not cutting it, and another guy if you needed to if he's not cutting it, right? Like, just point is, it gives you options, right? Like, and you're probably getting rid of Jackson Hayes at that point because you have Mark Williams as well as Alex Len, right? So you don't want to have too many centers, right? So you're probably looking at unload Jackson Hayes at that point, but you probably do that towards the end of the season. Right? You probably want to keep him just to be safe, right? Make sure, one, Mark Williams is healthy and finishes the season. Two, right? Like, who else becomes available? Who else kind of becomes a standard guy? And especially if you move Jordan Goodwin into that Cam Reddish spot, well, then now you're bringing somebody else in on a two-way that you really like. They signed Stanley Johnson to a G League contract. So maybe you're looking to bring in Stanley Johnson, right, onto the main roster, give you another 6'7" versatile wing. All right, he was a fan favorite because he was good. He was getting after it, hustle guy, dirty work guy. He also shot 45% from three-point range the last time he played in the NBA, which was with the Spurs, and supposedly he's improved his three-point shooting. Just kind of a thought. But regardless, I think it's in the Lakers' best interest to be patient with that. So Jordan Goodwin can finish the season on a two-way. Right, there's 31 games left at the time of recording this video. Jordan Goodwin, because he's allowed to play 50 games, can play the rest of the season. Right, so he can play in all 31 games. So, and remember, again, it's prorated. So, for example, like a couple years ago, Tristan Thompson, his contract was like $100,000. Right, well, if you need two guys or three or several, right, depending on how things shape up, you can get that because the Lakers can now go get into the a week out or whatever of the playoffs. Jordan Goodwin has played the entire time, right? So now you're just bringing him in, right? Assuming the Mark Williams trade and stuff doesn't go through. Now you're just bringing him in, and then after you're just bringing him in, then you can, like, in the thick of that, you could maybe bring another guy on a two-way or just bring in a guy as a body. Right? Maybe you're bringing in, Robert Covington. Veteran, has experience, been there, done that. Or maybe you're getting rid of Hayes and bringing in a Trey Jamison because you're like, Alex Len gives us some size, right? Gives us some physicality. Mark Williams gives us that floor running big, the versatile skill big. Maybe Trey Jamison can kind of come in and be our enforcer and just give us like 6 good hard fouls a game. Right, just bring him in and just like let him just do the dirty work like 6 times a game. Right, like that could be something too. Right, kind of what Dwight was for us in 2020. Right, again, not talking about skill level or who's better or anything like that, but just like Dwight was the guy that just was like not afraid to give the hard elbow or give the hard playoff foul. Right, obviously I don't want anything dirty. I don't want anything overly aggressive, but hey, it's the playoffs, baby. Let's turn back the clock a little bit to the 80s and, give some good hard fouls, right? Give some good just playoff basketball fouls. So point is Lakers have options. And now that you have essentially, $800,000 to work with, if you wait, another 15 games and now that becomes $400,000, right? And also contracts like vet minimum contracts also vary based on tenure and there's like factors that go into it, right? So not all, like somebody like Trey Jamison, his contract is not going to be the same as somebody like Alex Len, who's a veteran and has been in the year X amount of years. That's why, you look at like Jackson Hayes, his contract I think is like $2.2 million off the top of my head. Same thing with like Cam Reddish, but like Christian Woods is like 3.3. Right? Like he makes an extra $1 million more than those two guys. And it's because of like all the little things that go, little details that go into those vet minimum guys. So, Lakers could bring in still multiple guys if they want to. I don't think the Lakers are going to do anything crazy. Right? I don't think hey, we'll just revamp our roster. Like, just get rid of 3, 4 guys and then bring in 3 or 4 guys. Like, I don't think they'll do anything like that. But, you never know what is going to develop, right? Like, you might go get and bring in a Jordan Goodwin, and there might still be a clear hole, right? Like, you might be like, man, we could really use, like I said, a 6'7", 6'8" versatile forward. So maybe you're bringing in, like I said, a Robert Covington or a Stanley Johnson, something like that. So just kind of things to kind of keep in mind. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? What do you want to see the Lakers do? Should the Lakers just, hey, who cares? You don't need anyone else. Just, waive whoever and then bring in, a guy and Jordan Goodwin. I just think, again, the reason I don't think the Lakers will rush it, could be wrong. They very well could. But the reason I don't think that they'll rush it is because he can finish the season on a 2-way. And then right before the playoffs, boom, wave a guy, bring him in, and boom. And he's gotten acclimated. He's gotten to practice. He's gotten to do everything that you want to see him do. But something to keep in mind. Anyway, again, how do you feel? What are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.